Bill Clinton is the Democrat who ended FDR's New Deal. By doing what? By ending the permanent safety net with welfare reform. 5 years and you're done. By deindustrializing America with the ratification of NAFTA. FDR put tens of thousands of Americans to work with a massive federal jobs program that built the national dam systems and national parks and all types of things. By removing Glass-Steagall, it meant all commercial banks were now able to go ahead and merge with investment banks. And even though FDIC insurance was in effect, our tax dollars insuring these deposits, they were going to engage in speculative investments. Now we're back to the 1920s. Yeah, that is what Bill Clinton did. In the beginning of 2001, the Congressional Budget Office said, if we continue to pay down the surpluses, they estimated America would have been debt-free by the end of fiscal year 2009. Well, what George W. Bush decided to do was give the surplus back to the people. And he did. He passed massive tax cuts in 2001 and 2003. The combination of lowering taxes and engaging in a multi-trillion-dollar war on terror, instead of having U.S. debt paid off, by the time he left office doubling the debt from just under $6 trillion to $12 trillion. This was Armageddon for fiscal conservatives. Barack Obama takes office. In January 20th, 2009, Goldman Sachs had massive claims against AIG. Now, in a bankruptcy, the creditors take a shave. What kind of shave do you think Obama negotiated for the Wall Street banks who caused AIG to go bankrupt? Obama paid 100 cents on the dollar. They got their full contract out of our bailout. Those investment banks whose bullshit mortgage-backed securities caused 8 million foreclosures in the United States, cost our pension funds almost $1 trillion, brought Fannie and Freddie into receivership. Yeah. And Obama said, yeah, we're going to honor it 100%. Before he's sworn in on January 20th, 2021, he goes to Georgia because both U.S. Senate seats in Georgia are up for grabs. And if the Democrats can win both seats, they get 50 votes. And then the vice president can cast the deciding vote. This would allow them to pass legislation with a pure, straight-up majority vote in the Senate. So Joe Biden said, if Georgia will send these two Democrats to Washington, we will cut $2,000 checks. Georgia hadn't elected a Democrat to the U.S. Senate since 1996. We'll hold our nose and we'll elect these two Democrats. And they did. What does Joe Biden do? Trump dropped a $600 check. I gave you $1,400. That's the $2,000. Say it ain't Joe. Inflation hadn't been a thing since the 90s. But in June 2022, inflation spiked to 9.1%. Crazy. It hadn't been 9.1% since the 80s. So our man Joe, man of the people, understands where we are. What does Joe Biden do to address runaway inflation? He releases the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and lowers the cost of gasoline, maybe 30 cents a gallon. But the median price of gas in 2022 spiked to over $5. But that's all he did. No initiatives, no program to help working class people who were experiencing food insecurity because of the housing affordability crisis that exploded under Joe Biden. In 2025, Trump kept his promise to Tulsi Gabbard. Starting January 3rd, 2020, he attacks Venezuela using the United States Navy, seizes Maduro, and then seizes Venezuelan oil. So we're back to regime change, but this time we're using the military directly. Then February 20th, attacking Iran with Israel. The thing about the war in Iran that is so senseless was Iran did not threaten the national security interests of the United States. The ruse is their interest in developing a nuclear weapon. Iran has been a signature to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty since the 70s. Under the treaty, you're subject to the United Nations inspection to guarantee you're not enriching it to weapons grade. They passed all the inspections